We could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just realize we're both wearing yellow. But we're both wearing red.
This Jeff is still in China.
Correct. Where he's,
Renee is on her way.
Renee's on her way.
All right, good. Do we have a reason to change the agenda? Does anybody have something to prove or not?
I can motion to approve. Second.
Jacobson second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Voice vote carries. Item 4, communications from the employee organizations.
We do
Have we had any speakers?
one tonight.
Anybody?
Of course.
Well, since we're in Campbell, black with the
Oh. Well, I guess
black
not.
against the black podium.
Okay. Oh, you didn't see me, Carl? You didn't just assume? Welcome back. Happy New Year. I just wanted to let the board know that we have some negotiations dates coming up. As you remember, we're currently working without a complete contract because we didn't settle our compensation package for the beginning of this year. And so we're looking forward to taking care of that so that we can then sunshine our whole contract. It's going to be a very busy year and you'll probably be hearing from me a lot. Yes. That's all, I guess. I mean, let's have a peaceful, productive and quick meeting. That's quick. Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
All right,
That's all right.
thank you. Any more from her side of the fence? SEIU, anybody?
We have no one for SEIU tonight, probably.
Yeah, okay. When Renee gets logged in, you can go on. We're on public comments. We have anybody for that has published?
We do not.
So moving to item 6, consent agenda. Let's see.
Right here.
Yeah, I didn't read the. Everything look okay? Yeah, you read the, do you have anything you want to talk about in the financial? All right,
I thought I did, but I looked in.
motion to approve consent agenda as it stands.
A second.
Okay.
Second, Jim, okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Voice vote carries or not, or nothing. So item 7, we have a RFP request for purchase on the cafeteria services.
So every 5 years, we're due for an RFP for food nutrition. And so this year, we started our request for proposal, put it on our website, put it in the newspaper. It ran for about a couple weeks. Sodexo's here tonight. They were the only vendor who was able to submit a bid or submit a proposal for us. We had a little bit of conversation with a couple of vendors, but ultimately they couldn't meet the requirements of the procurement, so they did not submit. So
They give reasons why they were unable to
the
think
only,
further. Is it
one of
like
the only
out
reasons
of,
I
out
can-
of district or something?
yeah, I could really share was distance. One of them didn't have a high, a lot of business in the Upper Bay area. That they couldn't get part of our procurement is we actually request an on-site person. one FTE, maybe once a week, to support our staff, and they don't have that for Northern California right now. So, I actually emailed you this big old nice packet ahead of time.
Wow.
The PDF version, there's a ton of information about different programs that Sodexo runs. We are working with Maria and our kitchen staff. They've really pushed us to change our recipes, become more scratch cooking compliant. They're really a great resource for anything we need. They help us with our ordering. And they help us stay compliant with the state and stay on top of us. I've reviewed the whole packet. On page 5, you'll see their fee proposal. It's very comparable to what we've already been using with them. I have the numbers too if you need them. But at this point,
Page 5 or slide 5, it looks like slide 5 is
proposal-
not what you're looking.
sorry, fee proposal G, item G of the table of contents.
What page? You know,
A lot of good pictures.
I do have a question. I did review the 212 page PDF. Yeah, it looks good. I just was curious as to when the contract would go in effect. 'Cause I seen a July 1st and September 1st.
We did, because of the timing, ideally, we would have had a 5-year agreement in place July 1st.
Yeah.
But because we couldn't get the RP completed quickly enough, we did a 2-month agreement with them to continue the previous contract for 2 months.
Okay,
So this one will take effect September 1st.
perfect. Thank you.
I also reviewed the proposal and I didn't have any questions popping out.
And typically our process would be to review all the proposals in closed session and discuss it. But since we've only had one proposal come through, we are asking for approval.
We gotta feed our kids. So I'll make a motion to approve that.
So I have to add that over the years, after a hard year about, I don't know, 12 years ago or something like that, there was good reactions at Sodexo. They were nimble enough to address the concerns that we had brought, and I would say from that point on, I hadn't run into and haven't looked carefully the last couple of years because it was running well, but they've been a good partner. Local, responsive, and fair price go in. That's just trying to get that in before we had a
Before I made a motion.
motion.
I'll make a motion
Make
to.
a motion, yeah.
You wanna make it?
No.
He'll
I'll make
second.
the motion to approve the request for purchase of cafeteria program services.
And I'd second it.
So a motion by Renee, a second by Carl. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And just want to thank Chris and Maria for coming out today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for your support over all the Santa Clara County School Board. I know you guys are a sponsor of the Santa Clara County School Boards Association, so we appreciate you doing that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
We saw
When- a question.
They have lots of
When
pictures.
when I have a question or we have a question about some of these cooking from scratch opportunities, we know who the contact is that we could call. It would be our kitchen staff, or perhaps the board could say hello. Yeah, yeah, it's really,
Correct it to me, and then if I have any issue running into it, she always, he's always available.
thank you, thanks, yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, good opportunity time.
Then we'll move on to, you want me to take over, Carl?
Yes.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
We already
That's fine.
job, so,
And welcome back.
thank you.
Yeah.
Item number 8, teaching and learning.
Well, Christina's gonna join us for this. She's actually gonna get us started on it with the opening of school.
Please. What's it?
Okay, how's everyone doing?
Great.
All right, so the first item, start of the school year, I think it's been a great beginning to our school year. we were able to start the year with 2 scheduled.
Maybe talk just so we can have the board member thank me, call that for attendance for the.
Yes,
Is that possible?
so
I'm
we
sorry.
can, put the board member Kang arrived at 5:50.
Sorry.
Full board.
New computers.
Okay, so we were able to hold 2 scheduled pickups, and I think that was really beneficial for our families in a lot of different ways. The first one we had was on August 4th, and it was from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we had a ton of families come in during that time, but I think it was even more successful that we were able to hold the second one the second day on August 5th, because we were able to do it in the evening. So we saw even more families being able to come in, a lot of them after work hours. So we held it from 4 to 6:30. Overall, we were able to complete 83% of our opening day. So I was talking to Jeff about it, probably the most we've had in a really long time or ever. So that was exciting. Williams Act update. I'm gonna hand that one over to Jeff.
Yeah, so I know the board had a chance to see in the briefing and our staff experienced the Williams Act audit on campus. I know there's always the feeling of a little bit of pressure when you have people coming from the county to evaluate and ensure that the resources are there. I thought our staff did a great job with it. Christine and I walked 3 members from the county office of ed around campus. We go into rooms, they actually count material in the room. So for example, if they walked into a kindergarten room, they actually went to Ms. Chambers' room. They made sure that how many students were there that day. There's 20 students. They make sure that their number of iPads matches it, the number of ELA material matches it, the number of math books matches it. And they go through every grade level and do that. And what they have to get is either 20% or 25% of the grade level students. So of all K-5 and of 6 and 8, different numbers between elementary and middle school. For middle school, they walk around during the periods, same process with it. Obviously, some of our resources for middle school are online, so the kids either fill their Chromebook, which is what we have in middle school, or an iPad, where they can show access to Clever. So that was kind of the first part of it, and it went really well. They were probably here for a couple hours by the time that they actually did the count off. I will say it's pretty funny when they ask a kindergartner, can you take your books home? And the kindergartners look at them like, this is like our 3rd day of school. They have no clue what they can take home, where they can go.
Like, what do we say?
It's the 3rd day of their job.
They're just going through, but middle schoolers, you ask them to hand shoot up, it goes a lot faster. So we probably finished middle school in 15 minutes, and elementary took the rest of the time, but because, a little different with the question. The second part of this will come up because Christine and I will have to do a walk for the facility side of it. So we talked about the school accountability report card. There's the FIT report that's in there, the facility inspection report. They actually go through the site and do that with us. And so we got a schedule with him. I believe it's coming up either next week or the week after, that will walk through the school and identifying what should be in our FIT report. So what's our standing of countertops, flooring, making sure ceiling tiles are done right, exterior and interior buildings, and then they look at the restrooms too.
So for materials, like you're saying, you're counting the laptops or the Chromebooks, whatever, they're comparing actual versus what we say we have. But when you're talking about facilities, there's standards that have to be met. That's the way I assume it.
So for the instruction side of it, they match up the number of students, the number of materials in the room. So if you have 19 kids in the room, you have to have 19 books in that room, 19 ELA, 19 math, 19 science.
Sure.
First, for facilities, you are correct. It's to the standards that are out there.
Yeah. So I mean, if there's a school that they don't have Chromebooks, right? They wouldn't be counting those because they're not a requirement. They would be part of the plan.
That's correct.
So if our plan includes it, they're looking forward to make sure the money's being paid for what we say.
That's correct.
Yeah. And we came out how?
We don't know yet.
We don't know. I think it went well. I mean, our teacher was prepared. There wasn't very many questions that came out of it. We just have to do a little bit of follow-up because there wasn't, with the time that they went to middle school, it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock. We didn't have like an 8th grade science class running at that time because she was on prep and then she teaches another class.
That makes sense.
So there's a couple subjects they didn't get a chance to see. There was an email that we got to Christina read. I hadn't got a chance to see yet, but it was something along the line that we just have to go back and count, and we can send them an email with it because everything else looked good.
Otherwise, I'd have to come back again and
That's correct.
Yeah.
visit a
Try to
cake.
do that.
Anything else you want to add?
All right, so for our enrollment, so as of 8/14, we had 735 students enrolled. And so what we did, between now and today is actually day 10 of school. So for days 1, 2, and 3, we went in, Jeff, myself, and Jasmine did physical counts, making sure we got the count early. We went into all elementary school classrooms and then also first period for middle school, or if it was a block day, then their fourth period on a Tuesday. And so we did that for 1, 2, 3, and then day 5, day 7, and again, day 10. And so Jeff has the updated numbers.
So one thing that stood out when we were doing it on 8/8, when we did the counts, we only had 650 students at school.
Ouch.
So that was a little bit concerning. That was a very low number. But as Christina was saying, being today, we actually have about 731 students total in the district, if you include the ones that are on an MPS placement or not in our district, but not on our school site. Luis and I were talking today, it matches up with what we were budgeting for the start of the year being around 725. It puts it right at 730 because we did know about our students that are within our district, but not currently going to school here. And so that is good. And it does match up fairly well with the staffing that we set up for the start of the year. And so we have 55 certificated staff members right now and 42 classified staff members to start the school year. I will say, we do believe there's more TK students out there that are eligible for a TK program that are not here. So that is something that we need to continue to work on. We just, especially going down to 4-year-olds being in TK, it is really hard to get that message out to
And
families.
it's TK for all now, right?
Yeah,
There's no age cutoff.
It's TK for all.
Is there like an outreach that we can do to our district, like our area, saying, hey, if you have a 4-year-old that
Come join us.
now is the time to, they can go to school.
That's what we've been talking about, just finding different ways to get the message out. Because I think to Jeff's point, I mean, I think there are a lot of families that just don't know, or they're going based off previous years where you had to turn before turning 5 by a certain date. And, you know, they think their child doesn't fall within that window, but really there is no window anymore.
I did have that experience. And I was just curious, how are our enrollments looking? Are they open for TK?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of other schools, there's a wait list.
Yeah, no, we're a little.
Okay, because even my granddaughter's on a wait list and
So-
they didn't even know they were eligible for TK.
Would we be open to taking those students from other districts that maybe are waitlisted?
We have the space.
We have the space. The one thing we have to be aware of is the fiscal impact.
Right.
If we don't want to take spots away from our students because we are community funded. At the same time, we want to maintain a stable enrollment. So it's really a fine line between it, but our kinder numbers were exceptionally low in the summer. It did grow a little bit, but we have capacity in kinder and TK right now.
It grew to what? It grew to what?
We got to 68 in kindergarten.
3 classes.
We're running 3.5 classes.
Oh, that'd
right
be,
now.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that'd
we
be
have a
more,
K1.
sorry.
We have a K1 combo, but yes.
Oh.
And we're running 3 TK classes right now.
That'd be good.
So the ratio is a 10-to-1 ratio, but you can also utilize a classified instructional aid. We actually have one of them here tonight. That's one of our TK aides. And so that allows us to get to 20 students in a classroom. So just based on staffing
We
right
have
now,
Oh,
we can get up to 50 students,
And we're at what?
37.
All right, we just wanted to give you guys an update on our committees, and so just gonna talk to you guys about the process of how we select our committees. So the first part is that Jeff will send out an interest form via email. Staff members are able to select up to 3 committees that they're interested in, and then they'll put a little blurb at the bottom of, you know, why are you interested? How can you contribute to this committee? Once we get all the results of that, Jeff and Aaron actually go through the list, to make sure things are balanced. We want to make sure that the right people are on the right committees. And then once they finalize that, Jeff will send out an email with everyone who's on that specific committee. And then between myself, Jasmine, and Jeff, we'll send out the calendar invites of when those committees are going to take place.
What's your voluntary?
They're paid stipend or.
I was gonna ask
actually
you, that's fine, I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They get paid for it.
good.
And it's after school hours, you know, usually they're from 3 to 4.
And I will say there's some committees that there's a lot of work that goes into the colleagues bring information back. So, you know, we need the voice that helps us make decisions. And I know some of the board members sit on some of our committees. see the impact of having that voice coming from our members.
Yeah.
Back to school night. So if you guys aren't busy Thursday night, it is this Thursday, the 21st. It is from 5 p.m. to 6:45. We will start with all the families in the gym. It's about a half an hour where we can go over introductions of all the staff members, then they get to go back to their classrooms. While Jeff and myself will talk to the families about just any updates, things that they need to know. Talk about attendance, all the things that are important before they go into the classrooms. And so we'll have 2 sessions for elementary. So if you have a student in a lower grade and an upper grade, you'll be able to go to both classrooms. And then middle school, they'll be doing rotations throughout that time. I can't remember off the top of my head, it's like 3-4 minutes for the middle school rotations.
5-minute.
5 minutes.
Wow.
They're quick, so.
We get to teach the parents about the class in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Send them.
Yes,
That's a
so
lot of
they're
time.
gonna be moving quickly through middle
For
school.
next class.
And we don't want that.
Get a feeling for
Get a feeling for what it's like.
remembering what it was like.
So,
Lot of math reading.
yes.
Yeah, Connie's doing great out.
So,
We have the kids fill out a form where they fill out their schedule.
Cool.
And we have it in English, we have it in Spanish, we have it in Portuguese. And then we have the map on the back side so that they can see where all the people are.
So it'll be like your first day back in middle school.
Should work.
It does. I think one really neat thing that we're offering this year for families is we're going to hold a Spanish session presentation. So while Jeff and I are going to be doing the English side in the event center, Ms. Carrasco is actually going to lead the Spanish speaking side in the cafeteria. So that way they can have the presentations and still make it to the classrooms versus doing 2 presentations and then they wouldn't be able to go to the classroom. And then Ms. Sylvester will also be in there with Ms. Carrasco to help out too with that. So we're excited for that. Any questions about back to school? It's good. All right, and then last but not least, I know that there's a lot of talk about AI. And so Jeff and I are gonna put together a committee where we'll discuss AI, bring back the information to you guys so that we can have a bigger discussion with the board as well.
And I do want to call out this piece of because one of our last meetings, we had talked about having a discussion here with the board regarding the AI work. And that needs to happen too. But we really haven't been able to have the staff conversation directly around AI and what the practices mean in middle school or elementary school. And in addition to that, we haven't had any board policies brought forward. So our board policy committee also needs to take a look at anything that's come up. Obviously, Olu being in her position now and bringing back the policies for the first quarter are really important. And so if the board is okay to have this as an item we bring back after we have some committee meetings, we think we'll probably be better prepared to have the conversation with input from our staff. And so just would take feedback from the board on that process and if that would work.
Do you think that the AI committee is one of those committees that it would be beneficial to have a couple board members sit on?
I think that would be.
Certainly.
So we can bring that back to the next meeting to select our committee members from our board and have 2 members.
So Olu, it'd be an action item for the next board meeting, for the board to identify up to 2 members that would be part of the AI committee. And the board does the nomination. We don't have to worry about anything, but it'd just be an action.
And be able to have a wider discussion of.
And then have a wider discussion. Correct.
Themes and. School. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Great. One more fun thing, just a reminder that Apex is coming up in September, so that'll be before the next board meeting. It does run from September 3rd through the 12th, and then September 11th is the fun run, so you guys are always welcome to come join us and sponsor some of our kids. All right, any questions for me? All right, thank you guys.
thank you.
So now we'll move on to item number 9, which is discuss facilities master plan.
I think the first update has to be on our wireless infrastructure. We're continuing to make really good progress with it. You can even see in this room, for example, in some of the buildings in this wing, you can see them starting to get powered up. We know it's the wrong time, it's the wrong date, but it has power to it now. So that's a good place to start. There's just been a ton of work happening over the weekend. A couple weekends ago, they got the system up and going across campus. They actually went pod by pod with it. We're still slated for an early September completion of the project. There's still a lot more work to do. Reggie's been putting in some work with the CDW team, and Wes is still on campus right now because there's just troubleshooting everywhere. We've had our single wire, which is part of our emergency communication. So we've had that initial one. We still have more work to do on that side of it, but it is progressing really well now. Switching gears to the concrete and post grinding, we are working with vendors. We have worked with vendors to get the San Jose. Remember when San Jose came out, they took a look at our sidewalk, they did that
Yeah.
walk. So we're working to have that completed. We got a 3-month extension from I'm sorry, it was late July, we got the 3-month extension. So we have to have the project completed 3 months after they came in July for it. We are slated to have that done. What we're also gonna do when they're out here is we had a hazard that was found on our asphalt where we used to have the wall ball area. And so some of the old brackets that was holding that wall up are starting to come out of concrete more. So we're actually gonna have them come and fix that as well at the same time. Architect update, we have the architectural pool that we extended again. Our goal is to be able to add 1, maybe even 2 architects to our pool. We have 2 architects in our pool, but remember, one of them is for landscaping and more of the projects we're doing are buildings related. So it would behoove us to have multiple architects that we can work with for any projects that we have coming up. So at the next board meeting, the board will be able to increase or potentially add an architect or 2 to our pool. And so we'll bring that back here. The RFP closes what date, you know? I wrote it down there.
I know we extended.
It had to extend it. It did get extended. We'll get you the date, but it's closing this week, so we'll have plenty of time for the board to review everything going into the next meeting. And we can actually send you the scoring of it. We just have to discuss in public, the architects, what they submitted, anything that makes one architect stand out over the other. And then the board could then choose to approve it the next session. Thank you. And then phone update, I'm actually gonna save the phone update because we were able to get all the contract information in. So if it's okay with the board, I can come back and revisit that at that discussion action item. And then overall in the facility master plan, we're really, once the architects are in, we can share our facility master plan that the board's approved. The board, we can always talk about anything that's in the facility master plan. So it might make the most sense that after we have an architect in place for us to come back and have a discussion around the items we have in the facility master plan, the one in the order that we have with tiers, because then we can start assigning the work to any new architect. So it would be a really good time for us to do that.
So the last subject item, you said the phone. What are the interesting or difficult problems of talking about the phone item?
Oh, there's
another
Background
item.
around that.
Oh, the background is, we are able to get all the information for the phone, so we have a separate item just to talk about phone alone.
Okay,
Item 12.
It's item 12.
oh yeah, okay, because I know we talked about that.
Yeah, so I have documents to show it, then we can talk about what we did with it, if we can wait for number 12 on that. Luis, no, anything else on the facility side that I missed?
Do you have any other questions on the facility master plan?
Yeah, well, we're in the middle of spending money to get the solar issues installed, and I wanted to get an update for where we're at on that.
So they have completed putting the brackets on. They've installed inverters. They still have more work to do on that. Once all the inverters are installed, then they have to run the wiring.
So they're not, all the inverters are not in yet.
Not all the
So there's like
inverters are in yet,
18 of them.
unless they
was
finish
the-
today with the inverter.
Was the plan.
They're now mounting the inverters underneath the solar panels.
Yeah.
Many break-ins over at Jimmy Box corner. And so in the main parking lot, 2, 3, 4, 5, there should be 5 inverters now installed. And most of the wiring underneath them, you get the hot part of those. So tomorrow they're transitioning over to the PO parking lot. We only have 2 units there. And then that should be all for the inverter. And right, either 8 total or 7
I
total.
think there's one more in the main line and 2 in,
Okay, that's
in,
all fine.
I thought there was gonna be like 18. Okay,
When they transition the plan, they're using, what I imagine, larger inverters, but they're going up right underneath the solar.
Yeah.
You can see them out.
there's reasons for that, the shorter DC runs, you don't
Yeah.
lose them
And it was.
as much on DC
important
loss to get to the
Try to
inverter.
prevent folks from. Right?
Have our cameras seen anything?
We have, our camera angles are front of the school main door pointing toward the parking lot. And the best one that kind of extends out is over on the side of the middle school building for you. It's just, you don't have a lot of visibility in the main parking lot area or behind where the dumpsters are with that PG area.
Are we thinking about changing that?
we've talked about it.
Adding-
It's really hard because
I mean,
of where
just-
some of the trees are.
Mhm.
We have talked about it. There's a couple areas on campus. We haven't talked about this at facilities yet. But there's a couple
Okay.
spots now that we have the field, now that we have the playground in. Just seeing our campus that we might want to consider adding a camera or 2.
Yeah,
Just as a reminder for that process, we have to talk about facilities and then. I sit down with the union, both unions, we talk about what angles would come off of it. Typically, the company sends us the angle, the spread of what it looks like coming off of it.
Right.
We're talking about all exterior cameras, so our MOU that the board's already approved. Does apply to any of the cameras that we add. And then at that point, then we'd have to just price it out. It would be part of our system. So it takes probably, I don't know, a couple of months to get something like that installed. But it is something worth considering.
yeah. I mean, those are high dollar parts, and if people are trying to steal them for the copper. Yeah, we need some iron bars to put them behind.
It does help with the height that the inverters are gonna be at, that is gonna be helpful. But you're right, I mean, they can still get access into,
Come on, they can get on top of our roofs.
that's true.
Any
Yeah,
other-
good, thanks. No, I wanted to know that exactly, you know.
Yeah, that was a good question. Does any other board member have anything on this one?
Roof updates? Anything with roofing? Are we ready?
We need the architects.
Okay,
So all of that requires BSA, so we can assign it to different architects, but we do need them to come in to help us. We have the roof assessments done, like we obviously have the reports for that, we have the HVAC report, so we have the assessments needed, we just
Okay.
need the architect.
got it.
Any other items under facilities? Seeing none, we'll move on to our next item 9, or 10, which is the approval of a Miranda landscaping contract. This is an item that we brought back from our last meeting.
I don't have any new information for this from what I shared last time, but happy to address any questions.
What were we paying them before, and what is the, like, I guess, what's the difference between this contract and the old contract?
The old contract didn't have any increases for a number of years because they were transitioning from the field. So this includes some increase in it, covers the full campus. It covers the gopher treatments which were always separate of it. So if you looked at it before, we always had to come back and get approved for those services. They're included in it. Broadleaf is included in it. And then some maintenance hours that we call for sprinklers being down or something are already included in the pricing, where those were always separate items before. So overall, it looks like about a $20,000 increase, but it's not that much because we're including services in the contract that the board's approving right now.
So the prices for gopher control. It's worded oddly, but it looks like there's 6 visits. we don't have our big field anymore. So the amount of work that goes into a gopher abatement program is less than it used to be. And the price is higher. It's like, I mean, I've priced this out for years, so that's sort of my $550 per occasion. They said 6 monthly visits. That would be like every 2 months. So since it says 6 visits and the amount was, being paid for 6 visits, I know they don't mean monthly. I mean, I know they mean every 2, but that's a lot. So I don't know. I think there's a couple $1,000s they shouldn't be charging there. The broadleaf treatment has become a very small job because of the plastic field. And I would push back on that too and try to save some money there. That's just aside from that, but overall, I think the campus looks better than in years past. I don't know how much we can ascribe that to the current contractor.
I think you
So
do a good job.
pay attention. They're charging more and doing, I don't know about doing less, but have less that they have to do.
I didn't know the gophers are a problem in the middle school quad.
They kill our trees and they ruin the big field. Caused you guys to spend a lot of money on plastic. Yeah, they're bad. So they have to be held down. No doubt. Squirrels as well. The squirrels,
The ground squirrels are the ones that are burrowing a lot of the stuff in the middle school right now for us.
they ruin the trees. They'll get down and they'll dig along the roots and make nice burrows, and then after a while the roots.
We certainly have
tree
seen some
does.
of our trees fall here.
That's what they do. Yeah. They're paying attention to the squirrels, right? I didn't see that.
Ground squirrels are, I mean, they're catching probably more ground squirrels than they're catching gophers.
That's gonna make our trees
When
good.
they used to send us the pictures.
Yeah, more.
But they used to send us the pictures of how they did their trapping. There was always more ground squirrels than gophers.
They always prune the trees. Was that always part of the contract?
That's added, and then the other thing that they're doing is scraping the asphalt for the weeds that pop up in the
Oh, okay.
concrete. That's something we didn't have.
So they added some services then. So they're gonna,
They needed to have some services with it too.
so the pruning of the trees, that's a nice thing to have, because if you don't, then you're gonna pay a huge tree trimming bill.
They do everything.
Yeah.
That's basically ladder height.
Yeah, 12 feet or something.
Yeah,
Which is most of our trees.
which
because
is
the
most of our trees. Yeah.
And it's looking good, like I'll repeat.
I mean, Miranda, I will say, has been great to work with for our team. I know Chanel has a really communicative relationship with their lead, and so we're able to get their support when we need it. And if something's not right, they're also really open to receiving feedback coming out, which
Yeah, that's not on
we
the
always get
paper.
that with vendors.
And didn't they also say that they were gonna help with something on the field until we?
Yeah, they offered, because they knew we didn't get a vehicle yet, that they offered to pull the equipment that we need for the bristles on the turf, and they said they would drive their trucks to help us until we get a vehicle.
And is that at no additional cost?
That's no additional cost. They just said they're happy to help with that for sure. And actually, they were putting us in contact with somebody for a vehicle too.
Oh, nice.
Just to see if we can get some better pricing. Sure, Louise would like better pricing.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is there any further discussion, any other questions? This is a discussion action item, so if
That'd be good.
we wanted to entertain a motion to approve this contract, we could do that.
Yeah, motion approved.
We have a motion by Carl, a second by Catherine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries 5-0. And then we're gonna move on to the approval of assessment resourcing, Inc., rates and insurance coverage.
Chris here's less.
Okay.
So in the past, we've used psych services. This year we looked for another option and this is it. It's ARI or RE. And so really it's a better value for doing, if not the same job, almost a better job. They're a little more thorough. And so just to give you guys kind of an example of the difference in price. And so for a base assessment from psych services, we were getting charged anywhere between $5,600 to $6,300, but for ARI, they'd be charging us $3,800 to $4,800 for the same thing, if not actually more, because if you look at the $4,850 price, that's with the educational assessment, which usually we have our teachers doing that part of it. And psych services really was just charging us a lot more. And you can
There's
take a
history to why we need this. We had people and services and
I
they
think,
leave or they jack their prices and what's prompting this contract?
I think what we're seeing more, and Jeff, you can jump into, is that we're just seeing a lot more students and a lot more families asking for assessments. And it does take a lot of time, it takes a lot of resources, and so in order to meet those needs, we do need to get some extra outside support. The other part is our full-time psych hasn't started yet, so we already have a list of students that need to be assessed. And so we're just trying to get a jump start on those.
And it's my understanding that there's a timeline to
There is.
those. So once the assessment is requested, we only have a certain amount by legality to do those assessments. So if we can't get them done, just to have
We're
this
out of
other
compliance.
outside, to have this outside company coming in and helping us to keep our timelines.
And the other piece that we use them for is after our team completes an assessment, sometimes our families would like another evaluation. And so sometimes in the spirit of compromise and working with our families, it's nice to have a second assessment done or an IE done with somebody that's outside the district. And so for us, we can't pull a psych from another school, so using an outside resource is helpful. We obviously work closely with our SELPA, especially when it comes to more of the potential litigious matters with it,
Yeah,
but it is nice to be able to reach out to those that may not be here on campus at times to get help with some of the evaluations that we conduct.
So question, we're going for a not to exceed of 40,000 of this. If you're looking at, let's just say, an initial assessment, so you're really only gonna get 10 assessments out of it?
until we are asked to approve another block.
Knowing that we are fully staffed at 1.5 sites, like we have 2 people that are in contract right now, we're just waiting for the one to start. We know we have some months that are more hotspots where we have more due in that month than we have capacity to do.
Okay.
So it's really about us being able to manage the calendar from the beginning of the year till really May. We have some in June, but really through May. February, March is gonna be a rough time of the year for us. We have a lot of assessments due. October is looking to be a little bit challenging.
I just want to make sure that, like Carl said, like we go through that 40,000 and then we're gonna come back for another 40,000. I just want to make sure that we're being realistic upfront with our number versus every so many months we're coming back. I understand the need of it. I have no issue with that. I just want to make sure that for budgeting purposes that we are coming with a true number in the beginning versus but coming back every few months and asking for more.
I doubt they're trying to put something that's not true, but it comes up all the time, right? We burn through, something happens.
Right.
We're facing a litigious moment. But the words that you used and that Jeff used were a little different. You said something about, look, there's legal issues. We have to make sure there's requirements. Okay, yeah, we all recognize that, and we're stuck saying, God, we don't want to spend the money, but we are. And Jeff said the other magic words, nice to have. And so we have to be really careful not to spend money on nice to haves when we're so tight. But we have to, of course, address the gotta have.
And I think the other piece to this too is, we We know that we have another site coming. We know one has started and she's amazing, and I'm sure the other one coming in is gonna be just as amazing too. But we also don't want to burn them out the minute that they get here, and we know that all these assessments need to be completed.
Because then we do it again and it'll be more.
Yes. So, you know, we do hope that this is gonna support the new sites as well.
It's really not that big a number. 4,000. I don't know. I don't have experience there, but yeah, good.
Do you think it'll be
You happy?
helpful for up to only 10 students?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that doesn't seem like a significant number.
Well, but if we have a full-time psychologist and a part-time, because last year we only had a full-time. So we have that part-time this year, which will help eliminate some of that.
We're hoping this will help, but you know, along the way, we don't know how many initial assessments are going to
Right.
come in. Obviously, you know, we have our MTSS committee, we have the SST process. And through all that, we try to not have to go to an assessment route if we can figure it out before then. But we know that some of them are gonna lead to an assessment, and sometimes you just get the parents who come in and want to try to skip the whole process and just say, you know what, we went to our doctor, we need an assessment now, and so when they request that, we do have 15 days to respond. And then that process starts.
And I think that's a really good point. I think the one trend that you definitely see now is pediatricians telling families, go back to your school and ask for an assessment. And so we can do our work to say, you know, here's maybe why you don't need an assessment. But at some point in time, when those requests come, and you can't justify not assessing, we're gonna assess the student. And I will say a lot of defaults right now from outside providers is to have your district complete that assessment. Because either they don't want to do it through their agency because they know it's expensive or takes a long time, or they feel like it's more of a school matter.
And I also feel like now that we have TK, they can get us ask for assessments in TK. So there's a whole nother bucket of students that
That is true.
we don't, we've never had to do it before. They were in kindergarten. Now
Yeah.
we could have to do an assessment as early as TK. I mean, I'm happy to make a motion to approve this contract. I just wanted to make sure we were being realistic with our requests, so. So I'll make a motion to approve the Assessment Resources Inc. rates and insurance coverage.
Yeah, I'll second it. Don't
I
have
have a
it.
motion by Renee, a second by Carl. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. And the next item, approval of the purchase of the new phone service and hardware. Okay, that's you. Yes.
I'll start off and then somebody. Luis and Chanel can chime in. So we knew that when we were moving forward with the wireless infrastructure, single wire, increasing safety that we have through our network side of it, that we also needed to look at our phone lines. And so we went through a process. We utilized our facilities team. They helped gather input of what people are looking for. I will say with the functionality we have with our phones right now versus what people want, like there's even more they're getting with whatever phone service we go with. Because our functionality as a whole with our phones is pretty basic here right now. The hardware was fairly old to start off with. And some of the features that exist now just aren't there. And so one of the things that we did after we heard from staff what they were looking for is we went to 101 Voice, which is not part of CDW, though there are a lot of the CSBA stuff as well as stuff that Luis goes to. And then we did contact CDW again to find out other products that are out there. And so we tried to narrow it down because when you get a quote for these products, they don't give you multiple quotes. You don't go out and do like, okay, we want to quote for this company, this company, this company. It really doesn't work that way. So we kind of tell them what we're looking for and what we want in our environment. One of the big things that came out, we wanted something that was going to mix with our environment well. So Microsoft comes up as a phone system that is really strong with districts. But you really want to have a Microsoft infrastructure, which is not what we have. Zoom is an infrastructure we've been using here. And there wasn't really any different between what providers offer. So like what Microsoft might offer, what Zoom might offer, what 101 Voice offers, there isn't a major difference that we, for our team, that stood out. So it really came down to what is kind of the easiest for us to scale into our solution and what's the easiest for our team to manage over time. Because there are some other products out there that would be really hard for us to manage that we would be bringing a contract for that had like services for somebody else to manage it. When Luis Chanel and I were talking about phones is right now with this one, we're planning to manage it ourselves. And we feel like we can, at least to start off, we're gonna try it for the first year. And knowing that we're gonna get help with the install because we have a whole team on campus every day, our wireless infrastructure, so it's a nice time to do it. There's just a lot of people who are getting help from. I was impressed with what Zoom was offering in their suite of tools. I think it matches up well with some of what teachers were looking for. And then we looked at the actual hardware. So wet phone will actually be in each space, as well as wet phone will be in the school office and district office. It's actually gonna be the same for school office and district office, and everywhere else on campus. Every teacher will have the same hardware in their room. Bluetooth capability, so you can have a headpiece with it if they want. The conferencing that comes into it. But then you have other things on Zoom where you can have, a license on your phone, so you can make a call from your phone if somebody wanted to, but it's not coming through your cell phone. For us, it's really helpful to get voice messages that way through our phone if somebody's calling. So those are big deals for us for communication pieces, and really they all offer that. And so really through what we're bringing tonight, and this is the part that we added today. I was going to really those top 4 reasons, and then I had it. What I was waiting for from them is the updated quote, because what they originally quoted, we actually adjust the numbers a little bit for just to match up, making sure it matches up with all of our buildings on campus, the number of people we have. And then we added in a few extra phones in case something were to break, and doing it at this time, so we have it on hand. It's a 5-year prepay option, which gives us our best value. You really want to change phones, considering the age of our phone, 5 years, easily something we would want. Gives us a pretty good price. So the total cost would be $54,000 with it. What I'd like to do is let me jump into.
So these are the base units that would sit on the teacher's desk and in the office and such.
That's what I was trying to bring up. Thank you.
Each office would have this unit, a PBX system that does voice and data.
Yep.
And has the Bluetooth capability. That's what we're talking about?
Yes, and
What
there's
about-
obviously a
what about
data
the-
drop, and a data drop's already been put into all the rooms for whatever phone system we ended up with.
So that goes with the functionality of what
That goes.
we're talking about. That's,
Correct.
is one of the features supporting cell phone use?
It does. So it allows us to be able to use our cell phones, but through our work email or our work line.
So when you
That's what
call
you
somebody, it
Zoom
shows
has.
as the school phone
Yeah.
number versus your personal cell
Correct.
phone.
And what I'm asking is,
But
is it
that's for
there
some,
to,
Each phone line had a soft phone functionality, so the teacher could use their own landline and actually an application that they can use on their computer.
for their.
I would come out strongly against that as the OTA union representative, that teachers should not be using their personal device.
I'm saying,
I'm just saying,
No, I'm saying the actual landline extension,
yeah,
there's an application that they can use for that phone that's on the computer, so they can call out using the phone.
Oh, you can call out from
You
your
can call out
computer.
From your district computer, you could call out.
It's
and
phone to
voice
computer.
message with computer. If you wanted, you could download the app on your cell phone if you wanted, and use that application as a second phone line,
as
but.
long as that's
it-
not something
it's
that's
not a
required
required-
us to use our personal devices.
Right.
I think that would be,
But no, like.
that's
the district-
scary terrain.
Right, the district computer could function as a virtual phone that links into a landline.
Sure. And it shows the local number, not your cell number to
That's
their
right.
concern.
Yeah, is
One
everyone's,
of the continued arguments, we have to fix our wireless infrastructure. We spent how many $1 million? But was that, everyone's cell phones aren't working. We get lousy cell phone
Yeah.
connectivity. So now I'm probing the use of cell phones and what's the purpose? OTA is saying we should not be, teachers should not be using their personal numbers to be calling out, and yet that was one of the things that was being argued for. It's like, we can't use our phones because we don't have service. So this is gonna augment the service, but it also has the ability for business purposes to show the local number, the school number, not your personal number. That's what I just heard, right?
That is correct. Employee doesn't
So,
use their personal cell phone. They have the ability to, if they wanted to add an application to the phone and go through the application to, mirror your own classroom phone, but it's really just a revamp to the phone that we use now. It gives us at the district level functionality to reprogram phones, to change names, reroute them, even push out messages to the phone system. But the major thing to the everyday teacher, for example, the phones that we're bringing in look very similar to the phones that are in the classroom. It's just providing more functionality in the back end.
The phone in my classroom has horrible static. I have had 3 or 4 different phones placed in the phone, like the LP keeps replacing the phone.
your desk phone,
And, yeah, it's just like, after a minute, it just starts with this, like, your static.
are those VoIP? They are, right? The VIAs, the VoIP that Reg put in.
You will be hardwired into the.
They're very good.
Yeah, there's a good story behind it. Saved a lot of money back when they were waterfall down from. Yeah, Reggie got us that stuff free a long time ago. Yeah,
Would
Yeah,
using your
there-
personal
there's
device
a-
be a safety benefit?
Just convenience.
It can.
Convenient.
If
So
you're
I-
hiding in a
once
closet and you have the phone in your pocket, possibly?
It just
Does that safety, and it's a choice that people can make. I will say right now, we have teachers that text message parents with their cell phones, so their numbers are out there. That's an individual choice, and we
Okay,
don't really weigh in on that. I think it's always great to use district devices when you're communicating,
yeah,
especially under Public Records Act and all the things that are associated with it. I think it's helpful. I mean, obviously, the board has that same level of responsibility, and the board knows the ramifications that happen if we're ever looking for stuff. But I think from a safety standpoint, it is nice to have functionality in multiple ways, and you, as the end user, can pick what works best for you.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be important, it would be great to make sure if we approve this. To have the teachers understand, like, the Public Records Act, and if you're text messaging with parents. You just know that your phone records can be subpoenaed, and you have to we have no way around that, so. Just making sure that the staff understands, like, we're doing this to help you. Versus having you eventually be subpoenaed and have to.
yeah, that's not, yeah.
That's all.
I have another question. I know you said Microsoft was a bigger, more common company, I guess. Zoom, is it? Do we know how used is it? Do we have feedback? What, is it reliable? Like,
Really good feedback on Zoom. So we
Okay.
did get a chance to talk to 2 districts, somebody who was actually a director of tech. When I was working before, they had already implemented it, and so got really strong feedback. They went through the same process we did, looked at different companies, and they settled on Zoom pretty fast there. And I thought the feedback was helpful with what to look for. She talked about a number of things, but one of the things she talked about is, whatever license you get, figure out what phones people want in the classroom. What functionality you want is important, but not as important, because when they went through it, and the same thing we saw is there's so little difference between the companies now of what they offer that it's almost a moot point. And if anything, it's more the number of people that can be in a conference room. So most times than not, when we're talking to families, it's really just a teacher, a team of teachers talking to a family. We don't have the need for 20 people in a conference room, 100 people in a conference room,
Right.
things like that.
And I will tell you from outside in the public sector, that our IT person went with the Zoom. I didn't know the school district was going with it. But now that I'm back at work in the office, it is so nice to be able to just transfer the office phone to my cell phone. And when it brings up I know that it's the office phone ringing and I can answer it and be like, Ms. Shinestra, how can I know this is ringing? How can I help you? Versus the other software program at the other company, the program that they use, it was not user friendly at all. I haven't used the feature of calling out for my laptop yet, that I haven't gotten there, but I will say that I find even the office phone is so easy to program, and when I want to leave the office to forward the office phone to my cell phone, and I think that would be, you know, there's some good features if a teacher's out and make sure the calls are, you know, being answered or being able to assist, so my experience of using Zoom has been very positive. I was hesitant at first because I was like, Zoom, aren't they just a video conferencing
Yeah.
company? But
That's
our
what I was
IT guy
thinking.
assured me that
Okay.
the SoCal people were using it, so.
But Jeff made a good point. I think there's just so much competition. These companies are trying to keep up with each other
Yeah.
and offering the same things.
That keeps the cost down too. So we're talking about a $54,000 for a 5-year prepay, and we're talking about how many lines? Like 70?
We have 84 phones that we're purchasing,
Yeah.
and I think it matches this is a few more phones in line, so do you remember how many extra? 5, it was 3 and 2, does that sound right? 3 extra of the classroom phone, 2 extra of the office phones, I think it's a total of 5 plus.
Which is okay.
If we needed more, you could get one.
Yes, we didn't want to have too many, but we wanted to be able, you know,
In case something.
if Aaron's phone breaks, you know, on the day, it'd be nice to have something stored we could replace it with, and just know that we have the inventory.
It's in your contract.
Yeah, we actually, in order to keep the association contract, it says that all classrooms or places where teachers are working have to have a phone that is able to access inside and outside. We have to all the safety thing. We want us to be able to on them.
For
Yes.
sure.
And our
Yes.
cell phone service here is terrible. So,
And I don't think that has nothing to do with the Wi-Fi infrastructure. It's just the cell service.
I was kind of probing at that, if we have a stronger Wi-Fi system, I'm thinking that it also has an effect on calls through Wi-Fi on your cell phone. I'm wondering how much of that is accurate.
Kids shouldn't be using their cell phones at school.
I mean,
Teachers, okay,
somebody who got
but-
that half-second delay, you know, they're over Wi-Fi. You step on each other, but anyway, that's sort of what I was talking about too. The upshot is $54,000 for 74 phones.
84.
5-year
85.
85 but a 5-year prepaid
Yes.
is pretty cheap.
That's for the just monthly service, you know, the phone charges are extra.
No, the 54,000 includes its phone.
That's hardware to it. And
Doesn't
so if it's what we're reading, that
This is our cost for the phone. Is the hardware cost is $83.52.
Yeah, separate. So on the hardware side, we select two kinds of phones. One is 73, one is 11. What's the
Yes.
difference?
The number of hot buttons, so for the secretaries, they need more buttons to transfer calls.
Oh, hot
So
button.
teachers typically need, the most important ones, they have a 555 emergency number, 911, 555, which is our internal emergency. They don't need to transfer as many. In our school office, our secretaries obviously transfer a lot more throughout the school. There's a small sub panel, so on the main part of the phone, there's a smaller 5 or 6 buttons, whatever it is. Quick contacts.
Oh, I see. Those guys charge a lot for the hot buttons,
They do.
$100.
You look at how much, when you click on that link, then you
Yeah.
see how much it costs in the general public and how much we're getting it for. It's almost $100 difference that we're paying less.
So regarding, you know, the discount we got, I see this is going through CDW again. So if we talk to the Zoom sales guy directly, we will be paying more?
We use it as a whole package because we're piggybacking off of contracts for it to get best value.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if we were
yeah.
going to work with Zoom directly, we would have to do a full RFP for services. Versus if we use a seller like Omnia, which we have here, or CDW, those types of vendors, you can utilize other contracts that are in place to get a better value.
So another school district per se is getting pretty much the same
Same
things that
pricing.
we're at same pricing that we're getting. We're just piggybacking off of
Right.
their contract to get better
If we
pricing.
if we're gonna go out without using CDW, which we have the right to do. So like 101 Voice, for example, we had at least contact with 101 Voice. They're not part of this. We would have to actually bid for services. If,
And then when we go to do that, then
or
we have
request
to
for
take,
purchase, not necessarily bid, but we have to do a request for purchase.
so is that where we would have to take the lowest bid? Even if it didn't fit our needs?
I would have to look that up. I don't know if we have to take the lowest one, but they'd have to meet a criteria that we set. So we could establish a criteria and a rubric to evaluate it. So we could eliminate somebody who didn't meet the criteria, but if we had two vendors that were 100% even on our rubric, we would have to take the lower. Actually, both of them are very.
You could spec the one with the sticker on it that says Zoom.
Nice.
I've never done that.
Yeah, I'm just curious about, the sales strategy those big company has, going through CDW or have a direct sales to the school district.
I like direct sales team on a lot of things when it comes to installation, hardware, and then the licenses, it does tend to do better through these contracts
Okay, great.
versus
Good.
like the contract we talked about earlier for landscaping. It's better for us to go out on our own.
That's included in the 54. Unless I read it wrong.
Jeff, is the service fees included in that 54,000?
The service fees are included in that 54,000.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, that's our prepay option. That's the benefit for us to do in the prepay.
So that's what that's basically our phone bill. Or do we have a separate phone bill that we get, so,
Yeah, this is the phone bill.
You would still pay AT&T
for the number?
for the number.
Yeah.
part. And that would be your back end. Okay.
But we have to do that regardless. Whether or not
Hosting.
the hosting on it, regardless of whether or not we have that, we still have our AT&T. Or whatever.
Oh, really?
That's what allows for like emergency services to see
Yeah,
what room the emergency's in. So like, somebody calls 911 from this room, it'll come up that this room is where the call's being made from.
oh, nice. Instead of having to go to the office and say, who called 911? and-
Right.
So the real identify.
Like in a larger district, you would actually have at the district office, you would know what school site, what room called
Where it went
911.
on.
And then you typically would have protocols of what the school principal would do at each site when that first call.
That's good.
For us here, it's not really so much about being at different sites, but we would be able to identify who's calling Luis calls 911 for his office, we're gonna know it's coming from his office.
That's good.
Yeah, actually, I was also exploring this. So actually my agency are testing with Zoom phone service too. So we just got a monthly bill from Zoom and does not have any AT&T, T-Mobile, whatever telephone companies to charge us extra.
Get a bill for it. Oh, you don't get an AT&T?
No. Yeah, I do not get anything. Yeah, that's
In the current department?
certainly, it has all the 911 functions built in. So that's just curious.
Yeah,
It's
we only
my
get
own
one bill
pers-
too, now that you say that,
No, they're
but
saying,
we only get one bill, we don't get a separate bill from AT&T.
I think Jeff's saying he doesn't have.
Right, that's what, we only get one bill from Zoom every month.
you, they are saying we will get a bill from Zoom, but we are paying 5 year altogether. That's,
Right.
we are not getting a bill, but the school district will get the AT&T bill. I'm saying
we
I
have the
will,
AT&T
I'm not
bill,
getting
so-
it.
That's what I'm saying too, our company doesn't get an AT&T or a T-Mobile
Okay,
bill. That's,
okay.
we only pay Zoom, that's who we pay,
Yeah, that's what I was
unless we
trying to
haven't
say.
gotten any bills in 5 months, but.
We have an AT&T box in the server in the one room. That is a line, but I think it ties back to the school acts for emergencies.
I can check that. Let Louise and I go back and check it, but there's legislation that was passed because of school.
Oh,
emergencies that have
gotcha.
happened in the past.
That makes sense.
And so there's requirements that schools have to follow.
Yeah.
One of them is location and site.
So I guess it would be nice to know if we do have to continue with AT&T, what the difference is going to be, knowing that we have another service. How is it going to affect that bill or those services?
So we can get that for you.
I have a question. So the 54,804.60. That's just the prepaid option and estimated taxes and fees, and then we have another 8,000
8,000.
on top of that.
That's included.
Yeah, that's,
So I would just say, just in the future,
makes.
and put that out there, because when I read the bottom, it says it is recommended that the board approve the 5-year prepaid plan for upgrading the phone service and hardware for the entire Orchard campus at a total cost. But in reality, it's about 61,000.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like, yeah, it should all be together. Confusing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel this is something we need, especially obviously hearing Ms. McCarthy know that she really can't use a phone in her room, and that's not safe. I think that
Yeah.
I personally would like to make a motion to approve this contract.
I could second that.
So I have a motion by Renee, a second by Virginia. Any further discussion? See none, we'll go ahead and ask, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0, motion, approval of the contract. Next item, superintendent report.
Thank you. Just want to start off as you begin every year, I think it's always for me exciting just to see families coming back, the excitement that TK and kindergartners have, certainly the excitement that new teachers have. And I think it's always a good reminder for those of us that might have been doing it for 20 years or longer in the room of just, you know, it is something special when you get to support families and you get to see their kids through their year of school and watch them develop. And I just think it's something none of us take for granted, and it is enjoyable. And we have staff members that are 30+ years doing it, so they've had 31st days, and we have kindergartners that are on their first event, so it's always an exciting time of the year. I would like to have a back to school night earlier. The fact that it's coming up this week just feels a little bit better for our families to get started, and they get to meet our teachers and staff and welcome them back. I think Christina and Jasmine did a great job at the start of the year. It's nice having a team. I know it was literally the first time in my time here that there actually was, like, I think Louise and Chanel have been here, but having a full office team, including Olu being here, it just felt different, knowing that there was people around, not to mention all of our teachers and classified staff. I think our facilities team did a great job. It is really hard when summer school goes for 6 weeks. And so I think we've all talked about, like, how do you adjust and do all the facility needs you have when your time with no one on campus is so small now? And summer school going for 6 weeks, we have like these week-long breaks throughout the year, but there's just no time to do some of these bigger projects. So this forces us to think about, like, okay, we're gonna do a big facility project coming up here. How do we help support our staff members and our kids that are gonna be impacted because we don't have really that many breaks? And I think it was hard enough with phone lines and the wireless, let alone if we were to do a building. So those are just some things I was thinking about at the start of the year. Happy to say that we had our van ride again today. It's getting quicker on it. Going home, really easy. Coming to Orchard on the van pickup is a little bit longer right now. We have 3 students that are on Everdriven right now. And then we have 17 students that are utilizing our van service. And so it's already nice to see that changeover of moving the cost to us and using the van that we have. I think families have liked this so far. The pickups start around 7:15, 7:20. And then all students are hopefully here at 8:05. As everyone here has experienced getting into our parking lots at the beginning of the year, really hard. Tolkien Road can be busy. Coming off Brokaw when we come from the hotel that some of our families are staying at, takes some time. But just Mindy and Mel are doing a good job with it. I was on my attendance call today. One of the things I think is still a concern for really probably all school districts in this county is just the overall attendance. And I don't think you're ever happy to hear the attendance problems that others are having, but I think it is good to know that we're all seeing it in different ways of how do you get students to come to school? And you see the variance right now of how much time people are missing. Our independent studies are supposed to be out 10 days. They're now out 15 days. Students are moving schools. They're taking 2-month-long vacations. So like, how do you balance that? We have 180 days of school. They make us look at our assessments, which is important. We have differentiated assistance. We know our factors of attendance, yet there's so much other things that are taking place. And so from a district to school site to classroom, we have to continue our work with attendance. We've seen some successes with it, but it's still not the level that I think any of us would want to see. And one of the areas that we need to build it with is really our TK kinder and first, because when you looked at our attendance in middle school last year was really, really strong. I can get numbers, but it was really good. Our TK, K, and 1 attendance wasn't as strong. And so part of what Christina, Jasmine, Wooly, and I are going to talk about with our families at back to school night is just the importance of coming to school as the first layer of it. And then I had a couple other things, and Christina did the invite for Apex, but just, I think opportunities for the board to come to school early on in the year at events. We'll make sure we'll get that in there. Christina has her newsletter. Hopefully everyone is getting her newsletter. If you're not, please let the 2 of us know. And then obviously our board briefing with it. And I think that's it. So thank you.
We'll move on to item number 14, which is future meeting and agenda items. Our next meeting is September 9th, October 14th, and November 18th. If you have any topics for future meetings, please make sure to reach out to Jeff or myself, and we'll be happy to get those on an agenda.
Yeah, one thing, just we talk about the psych contract. I think, we had issues with special ed before, so I would like to request that.
We are working on that. We just have to figure out the date that we can get it on there and have a presentation. I know that's on our parking lot to get on one of the next upcoming meetings.
Yeah, I would like to request that the update for the special ed, just like the update for the accelerated math, we make it regular, twice a year or something like that. So the board has regular updates about the special or very important parts of the school. Make it, if everybody agrees, 2 times a year, 1 per semester would be great.
I don't know that 2 times a year, but I think maybe once a year, because 2 times special ed is a little bit different than accelerated math. Like, a lot of kids aren't gonna graduate and move, into accelerated, let's just say accelerated math, right? They are working on their goals, and the ultimate goal is to get all students mainstream into the classroom, but it's just sometimes it's special ed is a different bucket than like accelerated math. We just have to, and we have to be very careful because there is a lot of confidential information that comes with the special ed. So we just want to make sure that what we're talking about in public versus closed session items when it comes to different matters.
Yeah, it's fully understandable, but just the progress we are making, the problems we are facing, what kind of help may be needed, additional support. Giving the board a heads up, maybe it's
I think hearing it twice is a good idea. Jed? Okay,
Thank you.
no, I think it's a good, yeah. We forget,
Yeah, no, that's true.
don't pay attention if we don't hear.
So can we include our McKinney-Vento population
So do special
What
ed.
up-
McKinney.
with updates, just,
Updates.
you know, because that one I think maybe fluctuates a little more frequently than special ed as,
That's right.
yeah, as Renee mentioned, they don't graduate out like
Right.
right away, but the McKinney-Vento, you know, we
That's
may get a
fantastic.
influx or, you know, and it's good to know. Yeah,
I think.
so I wouldn't mind getting
Especially with
something,
the changes that are coming in our community.
Right.
Yeah.
so it'd be nice.
Good.
Because it affects us in a lot of ways.
Any other items?
Did you get that?
You can always email Jeff or myself if you have any other items. We'll move on to item 15, board reports. We'll start with you, Carl.
Well, I have something to add. I've done a couple things that are applicable to what we do at the school. I'm talking with a group, a couple guys that I watch a Super Bowl with, whatever, and they talked about AI, that this guy's an expert in it, or a user, super user, said it different ways. I said, you know, we need to educate ourselves at school on how it works, why to use it, what to watch for, all these things. And we started having some discussions. I met with these people, two guys. I met with them a couple times, spent some time looking at what they know, how they do. And I said, you should put together a program that maybe we could help develop and teach the teachers, show them what, you know, what this is about, and maybe at no cost or low cost kind of thing, develop something that then they could sell to other people. So that was an idea. It was a very, very interesting set of meetings, and what it might not be the right people, but it's the right idea. And that was very interesting, man. This tool is just, yeah, as little as I like the way people lean on it, it's worse than kids looking at the cell phone all day in the school environment. It's, yeah. So that's something that, you know, in the AI arena that we're talking about, it's critically important. We have to get smart, and we might be able to, you know, set some standards or learn some things better than other schools are going to do. Anyway, that was very interesting. And I spent time doing it. The other is I got a class in CPR recently. I had an opportunity. It wasn't expensive. It fit my schedule, and it was very good. I haven't done anything life-saving stuff, CPR and basic life-saving put together. It was about a 3-hour course, and the whole thing I was thinking, I wonder how many of our teachers have to take this? Is it one of our certifications that's required? And should be, or we should pay to send our staff to these classes. So those were the two interesting things that I did that are applicable to where we are. So
Nice.
Yeah, Fran.
Okay, I just want to say I'm truly grateful to our board, administration, principals, staff, students and parents, everybody's dedication and teamwork. Just, it's, you know,
Yep.
makes our progress possible. And that's about it.
Virginia.
So this week I look forward to participating with Second Harvest tomorrow and supporting our community. I look forward to Principal's Coffee Thursday morning and back to school night Thursday evening. So I will be here for that. I did attend the school immigration webinar just so that I can get familiar on how things are handled here at school. It was quite interesting. Just to know that we have, you know, public spaces and non-public spaces. I had no idea, so that was interesting. So it was just nice to see the different roles and what can and or shouldn't be done per se, like, you know, shouldn't knock out a ICE officer or something. So that, you know, that it was nice just to kind of know what they expect of the campus. As I mentioned, McKinney-Vento, I'm continuing on a committee for that specific group of kids. It's called a Success Working Group supporting unhoused students through communication, collaboration, education, and solutions for school districts. So that is my advocacy program right now, are the unhoused. And that is all I have.
Jeff?
I just had a long vacation, you know. I enjoyed a great time in Japan, in China, in Hong Kong. And I just got back, so I still have jet lag, so I overslept a little bit for 20 minutes. I thought, you know, oh, I still have some time, so maybe I have a small nap. I set my alarm clock. I'm not sure why I did not wake up. Anyway, so I'm so glad the school is open, so I can send my kids to the school. I don't have to deal with them. So the trouble is in the hands of teachers. Yeah, well,
Leave that open, please.
certainly I will definitely attend the back to school night, and not only Orchard, other schools where my kids are attending. I know it's a wonderful time for kids to start learning. You know, they just my kids with me on the vacation, so they did not touch anything academically, and hopefully they are recovering right now. I think they are all reviewing what they learned last semester. So every student trying to catch up, and I would love to see, you know, all the programs we have in the Orchard are going well, and the summer program went well. You know, for other schools, a lot of times the summer classes, you have to, you know, the parents have to be a computer genius or something, you know, when that open, you have to submit your application right away. Otherwise, you do not have a spot. So Orchard is a nice place, you know, as long as you are willing to attend the class, you are guaranteed a spot, at least for now. Anyway, I'm looking forward to a wonderful new academic year. Thank you.
Thank you. So first and foremost, I want to thank the board because you guys all responded to Jeff, attending CSBA conference, which he was able to get us registered early and save us some money. So looking forward to that in November with everyone. In November, right? Or December.
December.
And I want to let everyone know that Orchard now has a Cub Scout pack that we have started.
Cool.
Miss Cagle is actually the Cub Master. She's working with the Scouts, and her son is one of our Scouts. And so we're super excited to that. I will be working with them as their district commissioners, which is one of my responsibilities as my adult leadership in Scouting. So I'm excited to help them grow, and just the great things that that's going to bring to our campus. So thank you to Steph for stepping up and doing that. And we're looking, I see we have a fire station, the tour coming up, so I'm excited for that. We do have some stuff coming up with the Santa Clara County School Boards Association on September 11th from 12 to 1. County Executive James Williams is going to be talking to us. This last Saturday, there was a big supervisors and a lot of our representatives met because of the budget cutting and everything coming from Sacramento and also from the federal government. There is talk of the county putting on the ballot a sales tax. And so he's gonna come talk to school board members about that and what that would look like. We have sorry, I'm looking at all my things. September 17th is the evenings, Santa Clara County School Boards Association, where they'll go over the federal and state budget. That's from 7 to 8:30. You guys should get invitations to all of these. And if you're not, please let me know so I can let Bonnie know so she can get you guys on there. And then September 24th is our Lunch and Learn, which is another Zoom from 12 to 1, which Virginia's group will be presenting at that one. I'm talking about our unhoused student population. And then we start back up tomorrow with our small school district work group with CSBA. So we'll be bringing back, our topic this month is special education as a small school district. So it'll be great to hear from the other districts on how they're managing it. And I can hopefully bring some of that back to you guys. Other than that, I think that's all I have. So with that, we're going to move into closed session. We have 2 closed session items tonight. One is the Education Code Section 4890, potential litigation, student ID number 14216, student discipline or other confidential matters, student ID 14216. And then we have our superintendent evaluation. And then we'll make an announcement to report on closed session after that. So you guys are all agreed to go. I'll see you tomorrow, Ms. Gago. I see we have a meeting. My husband sent it to me. I was like, oh, let me put it on the calendar.
Is Cub Scouts including girls,
Yes.
like Boy Scouts?
Yes, it's
Do you have any